Welcome my dear students. This is another session for the chapter Database Management System, and in this chapter I will tell you some more points about the chapter. For example, type of databases, data types, how you can create your own table in a database, how can you enter the record in a table, how can you edit and modify the table after the creation, and some important points also. So now starting with the first topic, that is different type of databases. So there are mainly two types of databases available. The first is the flat file database and the second is relational database management system. We were working previously on the MS Excel worksheet, usually known as the spreadsheet. In that software you can also create your table. So when we create a table in MS Excel, then why we need to work on MS Access? We are again creating the table in MS Access. So the basic difference between the MS Excel and MS Access is that MS Excel is a flat file database and MS Access is a relational database. Now for more explanation, you can say if you had created 3 worksheets in a book, by default it is 3, and in every worksheet you had created a table, so it is not possible to link the tables what you have created in worksheet 1 and worksheet 2. If you want to collect the data from table from worksheet 1 and table from worksheet 2, then it is not possible in MS Excel. But when it is created in MS Access, it is possible to create a relationship between the table, and with that relationship we will be able to collect our data. We will be able to ask the queries from the table easily. So mainly there are two type of database. The first one is the flat file database, means a single table, a single file. There is no relationship between the tables and each and every table is existing independently. When this type of database is available, then this type of software is called as the flat file database. And the second type of database that is available, that is a relational database management system. So in the relational database management system, there are various tables available. In this table, what you can do, you can link the table with a separate column, separate file, and there is a database. And under this particular database there are different tables. As you can see in the figure, there is a database and there is table 1, table 2, table 3 and table 4. Means all these 4 tables are stored under the single database. For example, if you had created a database employee, then their project record, their personal records, their transfer records, their experience record, salary record, all type of records can be saved under a single database known as the employee database. So the relational database came into the existence, or this model is proposed by E.F. Codd. E.F. Codd is a scientist who has given the name a relational database in 1970s. And a table in RDBMS is known as the relation, and as I had told you earlier, that in the relational database management system we can create more than one table and we can link the tables with each other also. Now when you had created a table in a database, so there are few restrictions that what you should follow. For example, every column in a table has a unique name, means name, roll number, class, section. Means the column name that what you are selecting has a unique name, means in a single table there are no two columns having the same name. Each column value is of same type, means when you are starting entering data into the column, the column having the same data, means in the roll number column you will only be entering the roll number of the student. For example, that you had created a table in your column in index is a very common example of the table that every one of you aware of it. So in the index there are serial number, chapter number, page number and signature. So under the column chapter number you are only writing the name of the chapter, you don't write the page number there. So when you are creating a table, so below the column name you are using the same data type in that particular table or in any table. Means some more points are that means the duplicate rows are not allowed in a column. So this is what data redundancy means. You cannot enter the data two times in a single table when you are using any type of database management system or any software that is supporting the relational database. So in a short, you can understand that there are two type of databases available. The first one is the flat file database, in which you can not create the relationship among the tables, and the second one is the relational database management system, in which you can create a relation among the tables. So some more points you can add in the relational database, that in the relational database tables are known as a relation. Means when we are talking about the relational database management system and we have to address a table, then we will say the relation. Rows are known as the tuples, columns are known as the attributes, and a single row is known as the record. The total number of the columns are known as the degree of the table. The total number of rows in a table is known as the cardinality of the table. So these are the few points you should know about the relational database management system. Starting with the topic database languages. So when you are working with a database, there are various type of work you have to do with the database. First of all, you will have to create a database, then you will have to create the tables in the database, and similarly what you can do, you will have to modify the table, you can have alter the table. And when you are working on a vast platform, there are some more jobs to do with the database, because database is the most important part of any organization, any company. For example, our Aadhaar card, details of our Aadhaar card is stored in the government database. The PAN card details are also stored in a database. Our login ID, password of the Facebook accounts, of the Twitter accounts are stored correspondingly respectively in the Facebook account database and in the Twitter base account database. If it leaks, then what will happen? So many accounts has been hacked and our privacy may be in danger. So there must be some security part should also be including when we are talking about the term database and when we are saving our data in any type of a database. So according to the need and requirement, there are many database languages are available. So now starting with the first language, that is DDL. The full form of the DDL is the data definition language. As its name implies, that the term definition, when you are creating anything, when you are defining the feature of anything, here we are creating the table. So the data definition language is used in order to create a table, in order to create a table having new columns, having new specifications, having the new data types, then we are using the data definition language. In the data definition language, you can also manipulate the structure of the table. So what is the structure of the table? Structure of the table means the total number of columns that you have created, the data type that you had created, the type of values you are going to store in the table. All these things are predefined and it is defined by the administrator or the person who is creating that table. So at the time of designing the table, it is the work of the administrator to define the specification or the structure of the table according which a person can store the data. So when you are creating the structure of the table, it is important to define various type of rule and regulations through which your data can be stored in the system. So what type of keywords we are using in DDL? The first is create. As its name implies that the create means you want to create anything. So when you need to create a database or to create a table, then the create keyword will be used. Next is drop. Drop means when you are about to delete any object. Means if you want to delete a query, a report, a table from the database, you can use the drop keyword. Alter. Alter means you are changing, you are make changes in the structure of the table. When you are doing so, you are using the alter command. Similarly, there are many other commands like ternact command, comment, rename means if you want to change any name of the table, then you are using the rename. So these are the few options through which you can create a table, update a table, delete a table. You can change the name of the table. So from this section, 1 marks question can be asked. In order to, you will have to write the name of the command through which you can doing the specific things. So this is the DDL command, means data definition language. Now moving forward, the next type of language that what we are using, that is data manipulation language. So when the table is created, you need to insert the data in the table. Means when you had created a row and column in a copy and you had assigned the name of the column, then you need to fill some data, no? Like in the index you are writing the entering the records as and when you had completed your work. So what are you doing? You are inserting the record. So this type of command comes under the data manipulation language. So in the data manipulation language, there are select command. Select command is used when you want to select some data from the database or from the table. For example, I had given you a table and asked the name of the student whose attendance is greater than 75%. Then what you will do? You will select the name of the student having the criteria that the attendance is greater than 75%, and you will tell me the name of those students. So when we are selecting a data depending upon any criteria, the criteria can be anything. Means a question can be asked from the database, or the selection criteria may be give me the name of the student, all the student whose name is started with the letter A. Select the data from the database who the student who are living in the Virat Khand. Select the student who has performed in the curricular activities last year. So when we need to select the data depending upon any criteria from the table or the database, then we need the select command. The next command we have the insert command. As I had told you earlier, after the creation of the data, you need to insert some values in the table, and in order to insert the values in the table, you need the insert command. With the help of insert command, you can insert data, or you can say that you can add new rows in your table. The next is update command. As its name implies, if there is any existing table, if there is any existing data and you want to make any changes, you want to update the record, you need the update command. So this is what the next option is delete. Delete command is used to delete the data. Now I had told you two commands. The first one is the drop command and the second one is the delete command. And both the cases I had told you that both commands are used to delete the data. So what is the difference between the drop command and the delete command? So we are using the drop command when you are deleting the whole table with all its data. Then we are using the drop command. For example, you have created a table student, and in this student table you have 50 records, means 50 rows are there in the table, and you want to delete the whole table with all 50 records. Then you will use the drop command. And if you want to delete any particular row from the table, then you will use the delete command. So this is the basic difference between the drop command and the delete command. So when you are deleting the complete table, complete query, complete report, then you are using the drop command. And when you are using any single record from the table, then you are using the delete command. This question may be asked in your examination. The next we had DCL. So what is DCL? DCL is a data control language. So the word control means there may be some permission, some rights on the table, that who can change the record, who can only see the record. So these type of permission can be given or taken with the help of the DCL command. So in the DCL command you have mainly two commands. The first one is the grant command and the second one is the revoke command. So the grant command is used when you are providing some kind of privileges or access issues to someone, then this type of command is known as the grant command. And when you are withdrawing any access privileges from any user, then you are using the revoke command. Means when you are providing any privilege, then you are using the grant command, and when you are withdrawing the user's access privilege, then you are using the revoke command. These two commands or the name of the two commands are important. Now moving the fourth database language, that is transaction controlled language. So when we are working in an online mode, for example we are doing our reservation, e-reservation, we are booking our tickets. So there is a change in the database, isn't it? For example, you had booked a ticket for any particular seat in the cinema hall, and someone else can also buy it. If there is no any change in the database, it will show that particular seat is available. So in which sequence the changes has to be done, in which sequence, so that the any one data cannot be altered. So this type of restrictions can be done with the help of data control language, and it is done with the help of commit, rollback, save point and set transaction. These are the four commands. Commit means this transaction is completed and no any change is required. Rollback means if there is any error is found in any transaction, the transaction will be rolled back. For example, if by mistake some amount is transferred to any other account and you want to roll back the amount in your database again, and after the pursuing the application the amount can again credit it in your account. So this process will be done with the help of the rollback command. The save point command means this is the save point through which above which the transactions cannot be done. For example, if there are 10 rows and you need that the above 5 rows cannot be altered, so what you need a save point at the row number 5, so that above the row number 5 any record cannot be changed. And the set transaction is identified the time of the transaction, so according which it can be checked that which transaction get earlier and which transaction gets later. So these are the database languages through which you can create a database, you can alter a database, you can provide some access privileges to anyone, or you can withdraw also. And when you are working in an online mode, you need some transaction control also. So there are some transaction control languages also through which you can control the transactions online. And from here onwards, I will tell you that how can you create your own database in MS Access. So just opening, in order to open the database MS Access, click on the start menu, as you can see in the figure also. And then from the MS Office package, it is written here, it is shows in some MS Office, in some Microsoft Office, as you can see here. In the MS Office package, click on the MS Access. 2010 is written here because this is a Office 2010. If anyone using any other version also, then it is also available in that particular version. So in order to open the MS Access, click on the start button and then MS Office and then MS Access, whatever the version it is. So this is the step number 1. And in the step number 2, select blank database template from the available template. When you will click on the MS Access option from here, you will have this window. This is figure number 6 in the PDF. You will have this window, and from this window, click on the blank database option, as you can see in the figure. Select the blank database and then click on the create option, that is point number 4. So before creating the database, you will have to give the name of the database, and above the create link there is an option, that is file name. Here you will have to write the name of the database. So don't get confused between the name of the table and name of the database, as you have many chapters in any particular book, as you have many tables in a database. So here you are creating the database, a blank database without any table, and here you will specify the name of the database. So from this window, click on the blank document, then write the name, and after writing the name, click on the create button. So when you will create the database, you will have this window. It is not much clear, but try to understand. You will have this window in this type of. By default, you can see that there is a single table name is given, that is table number 1, and this is a blank table. So before entering the data, you need to specify the total number of the columns, and the data type of the columns will also be specified. The data type of the column is used to recognize the type of data that what you are going to enter in the table. In the coming slides, we will be studying about the data types also. So this is the interface of the MS Access, means the window of the MS Access, and you have to know the name of every part of the window or the interface. So some part of the interface is same as you have already studied in MS Word and MS Excel. Some part of the window is different. So now I am going to tell you one by one. So the very first, the table is, that is quick access toolbar. In this quick access toolbar, you will have the save option and a few basic options also. This is the title bar. In the title bar, you will have the name of the window, means the name of the software that what you are using. You are using MS Access, so you can see here that is written database access, and the name of the database or the name of the file that what you had created. So if you are asked that what information or which information is represented on the title bar, so the name of the document and the name of the software is presented on the title bar, and in the corner you will have minimize, maximize and close button. Hope you are all familiar of this. And this part is known as the ribbon. In the ribbon you have various groups, and in the groups you have various number of icons through which you can complete your work easily. This part is called the navigation panel. In this panel you will have all the tables, all the forms, all the queries. What you will be creating in the database will be displayed here. As you can see, there is written table 1. So this is the table that is created by the database by default. This is a blank table, and you can see the table is written here. So this is what navigation panel, when you suppose that you had created 4 table, then the table 1, 2, 3, 4, all the tables can be showed here, and with the help of this navigation panel you can move from one table to another table easily. In the bottom you will have the status bar. In the status bar there are few options like view button. View button is represented that in how many views you can see the database, like design view, normal view. So these are the 2 views in which you can access the database. This is the record selector. For example, if you have entered 10 records, then all that 10 records can be selected from here. With you can see the arrow buttons. With the help of the arrow button you can move one record to another record, and this is known as the record selector or a record navigator. Sometimes we also call this a record navigator. And if you want to search any specific data from the table, so there is a search option is also available. So with the help of this option, this search option, you can search your data in the database or from the table also. And there are some more options available, that is dialog box launcher, tabs. So the tabs object, this is the important thing to know. For example, if you had more than one table, to table 2, table 3, table 4, and then each table will showed here. Like table 1, you can see that the color of the table is changed here, like this is a light orange and the purple. So the tab that contains the table 1 is of a light orange. Similarly, if you have more than one table, then the table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5 can also be showed here with orange color. So when you click on the name of the object, what do you want to access, then that particular object is opened in the navigation panel, or you can see here. So this is the interface of the MS Access. And sometime you are asked about the few questions like what do you mean by title bar, what is the work of the navigation panel, how you can access record from MS Access. So sometime you have some type of questions from this section also. And this is the explanation of the discussion that what we had done earlier, and from this part you can complete your assignments also. In this session I will discuss the data type. So what is the data type? Data type defines the type of data that what you are going to store in the columns. So first of all you should understand various type of data. For example, if you are entering the name, then the name is in the form of text, in the form of alphabet. You are entering the roll number, it is in the form of number like 1, 2, 3, 4, or it is a combination of the alphabet and the number. For example, if you are entering the money, then it is in the form of currency. If you are entering the date of birth or date of joining or date of resigning, then it is in the form of the date, month and year. So there are various type of data what we can store in the table, and which type of data we are going to store should be specified in a table before entering the data. So in this table you can find that text, memo, number, date, time, currency, auto number, yes, no, OLE object. So there are various data types available like hyperlink, attachment, lookup wizard and calculated. So these are the type of data types. So now I am going to discuss one by one. And the very first data type that what I am going to discuss is text. Text is a simple alphabetical data. So if you have to enter the name of the anything, or if you have to enter the any type of number that containing the alphabet also, like A 1 to 5, 1 to 5B. So in this case you will have to select the text data type. The second is memo. So you will select memo when you have to enter a large quantity of data. For example, if we have to enter the address, the name also. So when the quantity of the data to be entered is large, then memo data type is defined. The third one is number. So it is very simple, like 1 2 4 8. So this is all the number that what you can save. The next is date and time that I had discussed earlier. When you have to enter the date, like date of joining, date of resigning, date of birth, all these, then you will have to select the date and time. Currency, when you have to store the money. Auto number generates automatically, like 1 2 3. When you will enter the number, a new row will be generated, then it will be entered like 1 2 3 and all. Yes, no. Then this is type of boolean data, when you need to enter the true or the false only. Next, hyperlink. Hyperlink means if you have to create the link with any other type of software, then you need hyperlink. Attachment, lookup wizard, and the calculator. So these are the type of files that what you can attach with your database or with your table. So you need a attachment type of data wizard, similarly lookup and calculated. So the most commonly data type that you are going to use in your tables is text, number, date and time, and auto number.